morning, everybody. Welcome to practice. As always, practice according to your condition. And there's different levels. There's some poses that are definitely for more seasoned practitioners, but I give modifications as well. So please practice according to your comfort level and your abilities. Namaste. Thank you for joining. So let's begin sitting tall and supremely still. Close the eyes. Go within. Let's begin with the sound of Om 3 times to attract divine attention. Imagine you are becoming one with all beings. Fix your mind on God alone. Rest your mind in God alone. And in God you will live hereafter. Of this there is no doubt. May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering, and enjoy this practice through our senses. May we acquire a strong desire for liberation from pain and suffering, and may we cherish no ill feelings against each other. So let's do the Om Namashivaya Mantra, which means I bow to the inner light. Calm response. Shivaya. bring the hands to the heart center, and we begin with the mantra for purification to purify the space, the grounds, and all the psychic channels within. If you know it, you can chant along with me. If you don't, just think about the purification effects, and you derive all the benefits as though you were chanting it perfectly. 3 times. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bhihantraha Saji. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bhihantraha Saji. Om Pavitraha Pavitra Sawa Vashtanga Topi Yaha Smrit Pandrikaksham Sabaya Bhihantraha Saji. Now release the arms. Let's do charging breathing to charge the body up with the earth's energy. The feet about 10 inches apart. Arms come up over the head. Now inhale from the soles of feet right up through the body, to the fingertips. Holding the attention of the breath at the fingertips. Exhale all the way back down to soles of the feet. Visualize the breath moving down through the body. Inhale, draw the earth's energy right up through the body. Visualize it rising up. Holding the breath at the fingertips, hold the breath. Feel the body becoming more and more charged. Exhale all the way back down to soles of the feet again. Last time, inhale, bring the energy all the way up through to the fingertips. Your attention is drawing it all the way up. Then hold it at the fingertips, suspend the breath. Exhale down. Feel the body fully charged, the charge flushing through the body. And release the arms. Let's continue with some warm-up exercises. From here on in, pretend you're the witness watching the body moving by itself. Roll the head in circles. Shoulders away from the ears. Loosen up the neck. And then change the direction of rotation. Try to touch the ears to the shoulders, the chin right on the chest, the back of the head to the top of the back. Good. And release now. We'll now start to spin the right arm forward and then back. Change direction again. And again. Reverse, forward, and back. And then the left arm forward first, and then circle back. Change direction again, and again. Reverse, forward, and back. And release. Bring the arms up over the head, reach up, inhale, exhale, swing down. Nice leg swings. Last one, just flop down like a rag doll. Allow the body to stop bouncing. And then roll your way up slowly. Good. Bring the arms up, take hold of the opposite elbows, and then bend to the left and pulse. Come back up, go to the other side, push the hips out towards the left. Come back to the center, go to the left again. And then come up, go to the right. And then coming back up. Release the arms. Lion's breath pose. So we're going to make like we're a fierce lion about to pounce on something. So the eyes go wide, the tongue hangs out of the mouth. Make a fierce lion face. Coming back up. And then just shake out the wrists as fast as you can. And then up and down. The fingers moving so fast you can hardly see them move. They're like a blur. And then release. And then just swing from side to side. Now the arms just throw you deeper into the twist. And then start to slow it down. Arms still feeling heavy. Coming back to stillness. Bring the arms out to this side. For balance, we're going to swing the right leg back and forth. Try to hit the knee with the shoulder. You can always hang on to something if you're having trouble. Balancing. Let's try the other leg now. And release. Bring the arms up. Turn the palms up. Let's lift up off the heels. Coming back down. Lift the toes. Push forward into the roots of your toes. Rise up. Drop the heels down. Tuck the tail under. Inhale. Hollow with the navel. Lengthening at the same time. Come back on the heels. And forward and up. And down. One last time. Lift up. Hold it there. Push into the heels, your palms, so you're trying to push the ceiling right off the walls. If you fall, just come right back up. Have no concern, just do your best. Lower the heels down and release. So let's make our way to the front of the mat for Surya Namaskara. Bring the hands to the heart. Remember the words in the Bhagavad Gita. Knowledge is better than practice. Meditation is better than knowledge. Renunciation of the fruits of action is better than meditation. Peace immediately follows such renunciation. Let's put that into practice. Offer up the fruits of the practice. Dedicate them to someone you love. Dedicate them to God. And as a result, they go out to all beings everywhere. Let's move together as one like a school of fish to stay in that collective mind. Reach the arms up over the head. Arch the back if you feel comfortable. And then come down. Bend the knees so you can bring your chest down on the thighs and hands on the ground. Right foot back into lunge. Lower the knees. Sink down to the seat. Lift the chest. Come into high plank. Lower down the knees, chest and forehead to the ground. Glide between the arms, coming up into Cobra. And then pull all the way back, the seats behind the heels. Come forward again. Brush your nose to the ground, come forward into Cobra. Lift the chest, bring the head all the way back. Come all the way back again, the seat behind the heels. One last time. Glide forward smoothly. Make like a snake creeping through the grass. Adho Mukha Savasana. Lift the seat up and back, melt the heart. Then the right foot steps forward to the hands. If you need to, bring the back knee down first. If the foot doesn't make it all the way, just assist it forward with the right hand. And then bring the feet together, chest again on the thighs, head down. Uttanasana. Come all the way up. Push the hips forward, stretch the front of the body. Arms over the head, hands back to the heart. Reach the arms up and back. Go down smoothly, gracefully, like a waterfall. Left foot back into a lunge, sink down to the seat. Come back into plank. Lower down the knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Pull your way through into cobra. Flatten out the toes, come all the way back, the seat behind the heels. 2 more times. Brush the nose to the ground as you come forward. Shoulders back, make sure you don't jam up the neck between the shoulders and your ears. All the way back, one last time. Pull yourself through between your arms. Pull the floor towards you. Bring the head back. And Adho Mukha Savasana, lift the feet up and back. Sink the heart towards the ground. Left foot steps forward. Again, modify as you need to make it more accessible. Then the feet come together, fold the body in half, head comes down. Come all the way up. Reach the arms over the head. Bring the hands back to the heart. Reach up and back. Engage the buttocks as you go back, the upper back, shoulder blades squeezing against one another. And then come down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Right foot back into lunge. All the movements done with deliberateness, with mindfulness, with reverence. For each form that you pass through, chest to the ground, come forward and through into cobra. Roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Then the right foot steps forward to the hands, sink down to the seat. Feet together, bow to the legs, gesture of humbleness. Come all the way up to standing. And come back home, Padmasana. Again, reach up. Don't worry about the breath. Just breathe in a way that's intuitive. Move the body in a way that keeps the breath steady and uniform. Left foot back, and then the breath will deliver fluidity and ease of movements. Lower down, Ashtanga Namaskara, knees, chest, forehead down. Come through into cobra. Back into Adho Mukha Savasana. Left foot steps forward. And feet together again, bow to the legs. Every movement reflecting genuine devotion and love. Hands back to the heart. Reach up and back. What's that on now? Fold down over the legs. Bend the knees, land the chest on the thighs. Join the hands behind the back. Now push the chest forward, the seat goes back to lengthen the spine. Exhale, pull the body down. The head comes towards the ground, the seat comes up. Push the body into the legs. Eventually you get the legs straight. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just keep your chest on your thighs, bend your knees. Then bring the hands down, right foot back into a lunge. Lower the knee, reach the arms up, Kapiyasana. Pull the body up out of the hips using the arms as aids. And then take your hands down, step back into plank, lower down, Ashtanga Namaskara. Right through into cobra. Downward facing dog. Swing the right leg up and back into one-legged dog. And then step the foot between the hands, gently landing it. Back knee down, hips forward, Kapiyasana again. Raise your arms up, make a shape of a crescent moon. Pull the body further bow toward the hips. And then bring the hands back down. Join the left foot with the right. And the belly to the thighs. Hands behind the back, extend through the crown. Exhale, plunge it down towards the earth. Uttanasana. And then release. Come all the way up, arms over the head, hips forward. Stretch the front of the body. Hands back to the heart. Reach up again. Lose yourself in the sensations. Go down. Imagine all beings experiencing this through your own body. Chest on the thighs, join the hands, extend, and then plunge down. Uttanasana. Make like you're bowing humbly. Release the hands. Left foot back first this time. Back knee down, sink through the seat. Raise your arms, pull the body out nice and long out of the hips. Crescent moon shape. And then bring the hands back down and then step back into plank position. Good. Lower down, knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Come forward into cobra. Back into Adho Mukha Savasana. And then left leg comes all the way up and back. Step the foot between the hands, softly. Back knee down, sink down to the seat. Reach the arms up and back. Stretch the body out of the hips. And then bring the hands back down. And pull the back foot in to meet the front foot, chest on the thighs, join the hands behind the back. Extend through the crown and push the body into legs. Once again, the face comes towards the shins, perhaps the hips come right over your heels. And then release. Don't worry if they don't, just do your best. Bring your arms up over the head, hips forward. And come back to Padmasana. Let's do one more variation. Bring your arms up over the head. Come down. Hands plant down firmly. Come up halfway. Shift your weight forward a little bit more so shoulders over your fingertips. Push into your hands. And then allow your toes to glide back into Chaturanga or walk back. Hovering just above the ground or just coming right onto your belly. Now if you can, push into your hands, swing forward, your hips and your knees. Stay off the ground as you come forward and then stay up for a word from Mukha Svanasana. Make like a dog howling at the moon. Push your chest forward in front of the arms, the head back. No wrinkles in the lower back or the back of the neck. And tuck the chin in, right back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Melt the heart here. Sink the heart towards the ground, the belly towards the thighs. If you can, bring the top of the head and rest it on the ground. Maybe some of you can get on the back of the head. Again, going according to your condition. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look between the hands. Bring your feet forward, hopping or walking. Pull the body down against the legs, Uttanasana. Come all the way up to standing. And then bring it back to the heart. And one more time, reach the arms up and back. Stretch the front of the body. Come forward and down into Uttanasana. Lift the chest, come up halfway, shoulders over the fingertips, push into your hands. And as your feet go back, your elbows bend so you land lightly and smoothly. No big heavy landings. And come into upward facing dog again. Make sure you don't just lose your neck here. Push into your hands, extend the neck out of the shoulders. Try and imitate the form to the fullest extent possible. Roll over the toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe in. Breathe out, soften. Make the dog stretching its back. Exhibit the loyalty of the dog to its master. Lift the heels, bend the knees, look to the hands. Again, bring your feet to the hands, hopping and walking. Pull the body down onto the legs. Come all the way up to standing, reach up and back. And hands back to the heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, remove all expectations, let go of all attachments to the results. Do the practice because it must be done. And release. So let's try some balance poses. Starting off with Rikshasana, tree pose, and then moving into different sequences from there. So I'm going to do this, I'll do it this way actually. So stepping on your left foot first, bring the right foot up. You can bring it in with your foot against the inside of the leg, pushing the base of the toes and the heel into the thigh for extra stability. If you need to, you don't have to go all the way to the roots. You can slide it down a little bit further, perhaps not against the knee. If you need more help bouncing, just keep your toes on the ground. If you have a half lotus, you can go ahead and do that. You can keep holding on with one hand if you need to, and then maybe bring the other hand eventually. And then raise your arms up over the head. Grow tall. Push the chest up. If you have good balance, look up. Whatever happens, be unconcerned. Be unconcerned of the forces that are always changing, always influencing. Just remain steady, like the witness, unaffected. Good. Now from here, bring your hands down. And from here, we're going to come into forward fold. So bend your knee, bring your fingertips to the ground, bend your knee as much as you need to. And then lower down so you're sitting on your heel. Okay, so if you have the ability, you can reach around your back, take hold of the big toe with your two peace fingers if you have your lotus. If not, your foot is more out in front like this, resting on the front thigh. And just sit on your heel and perhaps try to take one hand up off the ground, maybe both hands. If you're having trouble bouncing, you can also, stick your right leg out. You can even keep your heel on the ground if you need to. The right heel. Okay? You can always keep your fingertips on the ground. And then from here, bring the foot back and then come up. Roll your way up. Let's try with the other foot now. Standing on your right foot, firmly take your left foot up into your tree or lotus, whatever variation you're doing. Bring your hands to the heart and raise the arms over the head. Reach up high, gaze up, feel like this tree reaching up for trying to absorb the sunlight. Now making your way down. So again, if you had the lotus, I'll demonstrate that one this time. You bend your standing leg, you bring your fingertips down in front, and then you lower down onto the heel. So you want to have the heel pushing sort of more towards the left, against the left sit bone. If you can, you bring your hand around the back, and you hold the big toe if you have the lotus, if you can. And then maybe you can see if you bring your right arm up. Again, take your modifications as you need to, like this one here. Keep your fingertips, maybe just the fingernails on the ground. Keep your shoulders over the hips. A little bit easier. Take your leg out in front, squeeze your thighs together, push out through the base of the toes. And then from here, bring your foot back alongside the other one. Press into your feet. Come all the way up. Good. Now that our thighs are warmed up, let's do eagle, 2 different variations. So we're going to stand on your left foot again, raise your right knee up as high as you can, and push the legs together, the right leg against the left. Twist a little bit to the left. You might be able to hook your foot around the back of the leg. If not, just let it hang there like this. And then the left arm over the right, intertwine the forearms. Shoulders and elbows in roughly the same line, and sink down a little bit. Lower if you can without hunching down. Shoulders over the hips. Imagine you're an eagle surveying a land that you're about to explore. Now from here, release, gliding eagle. So to start, lean forward, bring the fingertips, index fingers down to the ground, bend the standing leg a little bit so you can bring your belly onto your thigh. The head is about the height of the knee, raise your right leg up higher, and then sweep the arms out to the side like the great wings of an eagle. Imagine you're diving down from a great cliff, then skimming the surface of the ocean. Feel like the eagle. And then come back up. Try it on the other side now. Standing firm on the right foot. Lift the left knee up as high as you can so that you can get your leg across higher on the thigh. And this might make it easier to take the little foot bind there. Don't worry if it doesn't happen. Right arm over the left. Sink down. Keep the gaze steady like the eagle. Gaze is very intense, very straight and direct. Move your shoulders back if you start to feel you're hunching. And then lift back up, press into the right foot. To prepare, lean forward, bring the fingertips on the ground with the index fingers. Bend the standing leg a little bit so you can rest your belly on your thigh. Raise the left leg up higher and then take your arms out to the side. Try to get as great wingspan as possible. Again, imagine you're an eagle soaring through the air. Push into the right foot, come back up. Now, so let's stand sideways, facing along the edge of the mat. Bring the index finger points together at the height of the elbows. Jump the feet apart. Go to the left for Virabhadrasana 2. Try to lean forward a little bit. Get a little bit of sense of forward motion. Strong through the arms and through the body. Strong intentions. Now swing the right arm up to meet the other one. Warrior 1. Stay mighty like the warrior. From here, actually, you can bring your arms forward. Slide your back foot in, bring more weight into the front foot. Warrior 3. Make yourself as flat like you're lying on as the table that you're lying on. Perhaps imagine that you're just resting on a table. Straight line from the fingertips to the toes. Come back. Warrior 2. Take the hands behind the back, pull the hands down, lift the chest, bring the head back. Humble warrior. Dive down. Go to the right a little bit so the shoulder doesn't land on the knee. See if you can slip your shoulder to the inside of the knee. If you increase your stance, then you might be able to get your forehead to the ground beside your foot. And release. Bring your hands back down into the ground, and then walk your left hand over to the other side of the foot, so lower the back knee down. Flatten out the toe, and then push your hands into the knee, lean back, getting ready for a crescent moon. So try to imagine pulling the body out of the hips, curl the tail under so lower back just stays long. And then if you like, sweep the arms up, join hands in Kali Mudra, index fingers together, other fingers interlaced. Squeeze the palms together, reach back. If you know other variations, go ahead. You can do swan pose, or if you want, you can bring your fingertips down to the ground for balance first beside your hips. Bring the back foot up. If you bring your head up and back, your foot might eventually find the head. And then you can take your arms up again. Use your imagination to cultivate new or different beautiful forms. You can only go as far as the imagination. And then release. Now press into the front knee, lean into the front leg so you can come up. Move the left foot in, a little bit closer underneath the knee. Legs are like a box. Bend the toes under. Let's start off with an easier variation. Reach the right arm up. Take the hand to the outside of the knee. Push the lower back up and in and down. Lift through the chest. Turn to look over your back foot, beyond your back foot. If you can lean down and bring your fingertips to the outside of the heel. If you have more flexibility, you can see if you can hinge forward a little bit. Sink your hip. Good. If you need to, you can move your hand a little bit in. And if you want, you can take the right arm up even. Turn your chest fully sideways. You can stay in one of these positions or come back up. Padmasana. I'm going to change orientation so you can see. Elbow to the outside of the thigh. Bring the armpit down close against the thigh. Join the hands together in prayer or left fist in the right hand. Push into your hands. Push down, body raises, lifts up. Center of chest comes to your thumbs or your hands. And roll the left shoulder all the way back. If you can take a bind, if you know that variation, go ahead. Left arm goes over the back. You grab it from underneath with the other hand. And now, pull the left shoulder back, turn the chest all the way up. If you can, lift the back knee up off the ground. Bend the toes under on the back foot first, if you're not already. Keep tugging on that left hand with your right, and then see if you can pull your left arm further down so the chest comes further up. Shoulder goes back. More. Lower the back knee down. Release, break the pose. Just bring them down to the inside of the foot. Left foot moves out. Go back and forth, pushing off the roots of the toes. And then see if you can rest the back knee on the ground, flatten out the toes, anchor down through the hips like you're doing a cobra. The shoulder and the knee stay together. Move the left foot out if it falls out to the left, so the foot stays over the knee. The knee stays over the foot. Rock to the right if you can. See the right forearm comes down. And maybe go to the other side. See the left forearm comes down. Keep pulling the chest forward like you're telescoping it forward. If you're very flexible, perhaps you can get your chest right on the ground. Left shoulder just on the inside of the left foot. Some of you might know the variations. Feel free to go into them. If you want to take a bind, left arm comes out to the side, snakes underneath the leg, the knee. Right arm comes over the back. Join the hands together. Left hand holds the right wrist. Remember, move according to your condition and your abilities. If you go to a place of pain and anxiety, that is exactly what you're transmitting. That's not the effect you want. Now release. Come back onto the hands. So from here, I'm going to change directions again. Adatitibasana. So some of you might be able to come right into an advanced variation. Bend the toes under. Lift the hips. Bring the knee up and then spin on your left foot. Make sure the left big toe is down. Raise the big toe and take your left knee into your left hand. Maybe extend the foot. If that was troublesome, you could just bounce your right knee in. Left foot goes back. You can stay in a modified side plank. Or make your way into your Adatitibasana that way. And then you can go into the variations as you know them. Make sure your left arm stays strong. Keep your hips up. The big toe on the ground. If it's on the edge, it's a bit harder to balance. So try to get the base of the big toe down. Shorten your stance if you need to.
And this is a nice variation here too. Wild thing. And come back to downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Melt the heart. And then just step the left foot between your hands, spin on your feet, facing along the edge of the mat again, and arms up to the side, come up. Wide angle, wide arms, go to the right, Virabhadrasana 2. Take on the consciousness of a mighty warrior again, shoulders down, long stance, true intentions. And then swing the left arm forward, bring your arms up to meet. If you're having trouble getting your hips to square, left foot can move out to the left a little bit more. Look up, head behind the arms. Now, come forward, drag your left foot in a little bit, bring your weight onto your right foot, warrior 3. Take other variations with your arms if you need to. If this one's too much, arms out to the side like this, or even on the ground, or behind your back. So, and now land your left foot back down, warrior 2. Sink down to the seat again, get lower. Join your hands behind the back, pull the hands down, lift the chest, hinge forward. Go to the left so your shoulder slides the inside of the knee. See if you can get your head down to the ground. Elongate your spine. Express humbleness, complete surrender. Tune into the consciousness of the pose. And from here, release the hands. Bring the hands back down on the ground. Turn forward, hips and shoulders forward, back knee down. Reposition so that your seat is right close to the front heel. Then bring your hands to the front knee and lean back. If it's hard for your knee to be in front of the foot, move your foot out a little bit more so the knee, back knee is more in line with the heel. Okay. You can stay here if you like, or Kapyasana. Lift the arms up, pull the arms back. Make like a crescent moon shape, radiate your light. If you want to try a variation again, go ahead. Same one as last time. Perhaps fingers on the ground beside the hips. Bend the back foot up towards the head. Imagine you're squeezing a sock behind your knee. Maybe the full front head. If you have the balance, keep your seat low. You might be able to bring your hands up again. Break the pose. Come back down. And then slide your right foot in a little bit more. Legs are like a box, bend the toes under on the back foot. Left arm comes up, go to the right. Right hand on the seat, push in and down. Now lean back a little bit so you can bring the right hand down, perhaps take hold of inside the heel with your fingers. Push your chest forward. If you have more flexibility, you can try to sink your hip forward again. Move your hand in if you need to your shin. If you want, take your left arm up. Try to keep turning your chest to the right. You can stay in one of these variations or come back. Left arm comes up. Go to the outside of the right knee. Hands in Anjali Mudra. See how my belly is coming higher than the thigh, so I have more room to spin. Push the hands together, bring the right shoulder all the way back. Feels like you're trying to lie on your back. If you know the bind. ahead. Maybe even take your left knee up off the ground. Extend through the heel, extend through the crown, and rotate more on the exhale. Lose yourself in the sensations. All beings feeling this through your body. Help to bring out the toxins out of the organs. That's what twists are for. And then from here, release. Come back to the front. Bring the hands to the inside of the front foot. Move the right foot out a little bit to the right. So the knee doesn't pop away from the shoulder. It stays over the foot. And then push back and forth a few times, trying to sink down through the seat. Then lower the knee, relax the toes. Make like you're doing a cobra again. Anchor down through the hips if you can. See if they'll drop right down. Perhaps you can roll towards your left. See if the left form will come down. Roll to the right. And maybe the right form will come down as well. Now keep pulling with your arms in a backward sense as you telescope your chest forward. And of course, if you're flexible, go right onto your chest. Fix the gaze, right shoulder just beside the inside the right foot. Take a bind if you like, if you know that variation. If you're flat now, your hips and your chest have to be on the ground in order to take your bind. Feel like a lizard sunning itself on the warm earth. Getting ready to break the pose. Come back onto your hands. Scooch the left knee in a little bit, so bend the toes under. Those you want to come right into Vasisthasana, that's advanced version, where you bring your right knee up, go ahead, or maybe even extend the foot, leg, and take the foot, or move into the other way I showed. Left knee slides in. Perhaps stay in modified side plank to get your grounding, and then slip your left foot underneath the right. And then you can go into other variations. Maybe wild things, slide your right toes back, turn your hips and chest up. So you might be able to, and you might have already done this last time, spin on your hand, come into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Keep your arm fully extended, don't drop into shoulder as you come back into plank and then downward facing dog. Breathe in, breathe out, soften. And step the right foot between the hands. Spin on your feet facing along the edge of the mat. Arms out to the side and come all the way up. Good, now from here we're going into easy Chakrasana. I'm going to turn sideways, but you stay where you are. Turn your heels in, the toes still pointing out. Move your feet in a little bit if you need to. Bring your hands to the seat, push in and downward. And then bend your knees if you need to, like you're riding on a horse. And push your chest up. And then push your hips forward, roll the thighs outwards, roll the shins inwards. If you feel comfortable, slide your right hand down the right leg, and then the left hand down the left leg. Hands are just below the knee. Use the hands to roll the thighs outwards and roll the shins inwards. Of course, if you can, take your hands further down, maybe coming to the feet, and then you form more like a wheel shape, unbroken circle. Hips forward. Now if your hands are somewhere on the legs or on the feet, walk them back one at a time, push into the seat, and then pull down at the same time to come back up. Arms out to the side, Pasarita Padmasana. Hinge forward. And then bring your hands to the ankles or step on your fingers with your edges of the feet. Extend through the crown, exhale, pull the body right in. Try to get your head between your feet and maybe your chest behind your legs, like you're doing a cobra type of motion. Widen the chest. Good. Come up halfway, arms out to the side, come all the way up. One more easy Chakrasana. Bring your heels in, adjust your feet, and then start with your knees bent, bring your hands to the seat. And when your head and your chest go back, your chest comes up, your head goes back, then you can see if you can push your hips forward a little bit more and up, so you straighten your legs. If you want to walk your hands down the backs of the legs, come to the knees first, and then walk your hands further down to the feet. If you're steady here, your head's close to the ground, you can see the ground easily. You can maybe take one hand at a time. Over your head, fingertips find the earth, and then the other hand. Urdhva. Make your way up. So if you're Urdhva Dhanurasana, come onto your fingertips, push your hips forward, and really push into your feet, hips forward, and bring one hand, right hand to the right side, maybe right leg, and then keep pushing into the leg with your hand, and then left hand releases. Keep solid through your feet, and then walk your way back up the rest of the way. Arms up to the side, and then close your stance. Bring your feet together, your hands together. Bring your arms by the sides of the body, standing tall in mountain pose. From the base of the spine, breathe all the way up to the crown. Imagine you're breathing from the base of this mountain right up to the summit. Exhale back down to the base of the spine, to the base of the mountain. Remain solid, unmovable, unshakable in your practice, your devotion to the practice. And now from here, start to make your way down. So we're going to just first stretch your shoulders a little bit. Bring your arms up, take hold of the opposite elbows. Imagine you're trying to squeeze them towards one another. Pull the elbows up higher, so the shoulders lift up close to the ears, and then pull the arms back and drop the shoulders back down. Each time you inhale, pull the elbows up higher, repeat, pull the shoulders down, and pull the elbows back a little bit more. Keep your chest forward. Make sure you don't shrink into your body, fall into your hips as you exhale. So when the shoulders descend, don't let the whole body just drop back into your hips. Keep pressing the elbows towards one another. Squeeze on the outside with your hands, the elbows. And then bring the arms back over the head. From here, headstand. If you know your headstand, go ahead. So if you're not quite there yet, you can do a couple of different things. If you're very uncomfortable with inversions, with your feet leaving the ground at all, you can stay with your hands beside your feet, fingers facing, palms on the ground, fingers facing towards the toes, and then lift your seat until you roll onto the top of the head and your seat is roughly over the knees. If it feels too strenuous on the back of the neck, walk your head a little bit out if you need to. Try to get your seat up. Try to push the belly button right through the lower back and your heart between your shoulder blades. If you want, you can take hold of your ankles, your heels as well. If you're in headstand, stay there. You can do your lotus if you like. Bring your attention to the space between the eyebrows. Everybody can do this. Fix the gaze. If you're not quite going to headstand yet, but you want to try, you can take hold of your opposite elbows. That's the right distance. Interlace your fingers, press the palms. Open up the palms, you can bring your head between your palms. The hands are like a helmet for the head. Then lift your seats like you're doing a downward facing dog. Walk your feet as close to the elbows as possible. Bring one leg up and back. Keep your legs very bent. Bend the toes back. Push to the base of the toes. And then see if you can lift up the right heel, or the foot that's on the ground anyways. And when your heel lifts, your hips come up higher, hopefully over the shoulders. And then you can see if you can push your thigh against the chest, again depending on where your front foot is, and pull your toes away from the ground. You can do this against the wall. You imagine that the wall's in front of me, and then I'm walking my way up the wall, and I can take one foot up off the wall. And then you just pull your toes away from the wall every once in a while. Okay, so you're learning to train yourself without getting too dependent on the wall. You're about almost a leg's length distance from the wall. Just hang out here. Eventually the legs will come to the height of the hips. Doesn't have to go any higher. Keep your legs split for balance, legs bent, so that if you fall, you are already close to the ground. Now if you're in headstand, those of you who are more advanced, as Dharma says, professionals, push into the forearms if you like. You can see if you can lift your head up off the ground. So engage your core, keep pushing through the feet. And then straighten it. Try to lift your shoulders up a little bit more to give yourself more clearance to bring your head up off the ground. You can tip your head forward, look towards your hands. That's sometimes easier for people. And then if your head's up, bring it back down. Push into the arms, come down with control. No big hard landings. Always move mindfully. And then rest in child's pose. Breathe in. Breathe out, soften. Roll your way up. Find your way onto your back. Your shoulders stand. Now, if you have significant neck and shoulder issues, you can just move your hands underneath your seat. Your palms are flat on the ground. You can just lift your legs. You can do this against the wall as well. Your hips are right close to the wall, and you just rest your feet on the wall, your heels. Okay, if you're feeling a little bit more okay to go up, bring your arms by your sides, lift your legs, push into your arms, and lift your hips up off the ground. You can do this a few times here. Push into your arms, lift up a little bit higher each time. Engage your core, press into your arms, push with your feet. So you're trying to push the ceiling up off the walls. If you get your hips high enough, bring your hands onto your lower back. You can bring your feet all the way over your head if you like for plow first. Join your hands behind the back. Bring your hands then onto your backs, your elbows, and your elbows are close together behind the back, and then you'll find a straighter line when you come up. Now once you arrive, be very still. Leave the body alone. Bring your attention to the space between the eyebrows. If you want to do lotus first, however, you can if you have a lotus. Your shoulders are right on top of your shoulders. You can take your hands to your thighs as well. Push your knees up. Now, think of the mantra Soham. It runs through every being. And we're not even conscious of it, but it means I am you, you are me, I am that I am. That being God source, divinity. Attune to the higher consciousness that exists in all beings. The purpose of asana is to try to find that consciousness in every being in whatever form and whatever experience you're in. all the same. If you have a lotus, you can keep your lotus, come into Pindasana, bring your thighs against your body. You can wrap your arms around the outside of the legs and join your hands underneath your seat. If you don't have a lotus, bring your legs down behind your head for plow pose. If you want, you can drop your knees, your thighs against your body, your knees on either side of the head. Karnapidasana. Let your knees come right to the shoulders, your hips over your shoulders. Keep your attention fixed on the space between the eyebrows. Okay, now from here, we're coming back down for fish. If you have a lotus, keep your lotus, roll your way down either way, whether your legs are extended or lotus. Come down gently. Push into your arms so that your seat doesn't come down heavily. And once your legs are down or your knees, push. I'll do the lowest one first. You push into your elbows, lift your chest, bring your head back, and then take hold of the feet. Lift your knees to take hold of the feet. You need to get a tighter lotus first. Sometimes adjust as you need to. And then as you hold your feet, you try to pull your toes. You try to get your knees, your elbows to stay down. Your chest is lifted, your top of the head is down. Otherwise, your legs are extended, your hands are underneath the feet. Your chest is lifted, the top of the head on the ground. Bhastrika breath, breathe very fast to the nose, like a sniffing dog. Keep going with your breath. If you have your legs extended, you can raise your legs 12 inches off the mat if you like. Break the pose. Release the legs if you notice. Breathe in. Breathe out, recharge. And now bring the arms over the head. Come to seated position. From here, scooch your seats back, legs extended front, Paschimottanasana. Bend your knees if you need to. If you have very tight hamstrings, raise your arms up and then come forward. And try to land your belly on your thighs. If you can, take hold of the feet. Push into the base of the toes. And as you inhale, push your chest further forward so you try to get behind your knees. Exhale, pour more weight into the legs. Other option, if you're very tight, you can take hold of your opposite elbows and just keep your chest and your belly with your thighs. If you're more flexible, slide your feet forward. Keep your body with your legs. Paschimottanasana. Bring the attention to the base of the spine. See if you can feel the blood rush in there, pulsing sensation. Shoulders back, head moves forward. Coming up, and from here, bring your feet in, and then come up into a squat. Push your elbows into the insides of the knees, bring your hands to the heart, and let's do Adatitibasana. So you're going to the left first. Slide your left shoulder in, lift your seat just as much as you need to bring your left arm underneath the leg and over your back. Right arm comes around from a fist, catch it with your left hand. And see if you can straighten out the right leg at least by lifting the right hip. Perhaps eventually you can straighten out the other leg as well. Head is close to the ground. If you want, you can come into bird of paradise, walk your right foot in, take half breath in, and then push the left arm into the back of the leg and come up. And keep your knee bent. Or you can see if you can push the leg up by pressing to the back of the knee. Try to get your leg behind your shoulder a little bit more. And then come back down. Bend the standing leg, stay heavy on the foot, and come back down. The other side. Start with a squat, move to the right arm underneath the right leg, left hand forms a fist. Catch it with your right hand that's over on the lower back. Lift the left hip. Try to straighten out the right leg eventually as well, perhaps. Head close to the ground. Feel free to stay here the whole time or come up into your balance. Move the right foot in a little bit. Take a half breath in to lighten up. And then push into the foot. Come up steadily. Smoothly. Maybe take your right leg up and straighten it. Keep pushing to the back of the knee. Try to get your leg behind your back a little bit more. Come back down. Good. So from here, you can either come into crow pose, just like this. You don't even have to leave your feet. Your feet don't even have to leave the ground. You can just bring your weight onto your arms, more advanced. Bring your hands in behind your feet, your heels. Drop your seat. Come into Adatitibasana. So see if you can keep your chest level to the ground and bring your toes forward. Hips and your toes are roughly on the same line. Those you want to try, you can come right into Chaturanga from here. Straighten out your arms a little bit. Come forward, bend your toes back. And then back into Chaturanga. Lie on your belly. Relax your forehead on the hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Cobra. Hands beside your chest. Roll the shoulders back. Come up slowly. If you want, you can just stay on your forearms. You can even tug the front of the mat. Pull the mat away from you, and then bring your chest forward. Try to create legs in the lower back. No jamming in the lower back. Then you can lift your elbows up off the ground. Bring your head back. Keep your lower back long, and then you can start to walk your hands towards your body. Feet together like a tail of a snake. If you're pretty deep into the pose, you can try King Cobra. Come onto your fingertips. Get your body up higher. Head back. Open up your feet a little bit. Bend your knees, bring your toes up. And then perhaps the toes will eventually touch the head. Imagine again you're squeezing socks behind your knees. Release. Come down. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften. Now back bend. Another back bend. You can either do Dharma. You can hold your heels, ankles, lift your chest, push the ankles back into your hands, and then if you can, you lift your legs up, your thighs off the ground. If you want to do Urdhva Dhanurasana or any kind of variation of Urdhva Dhanurasana, go ahead. You bring your feet in close to your seat, plant your fingertips on either side of the head, and then slide, lift your head back above the ground, slide your head back, Flip your hands around so your fingers are facing a little bit outwards but towards the toes. Half breath in and lift your head up off the ground. And then just stretch out your curve. Straighten your arms and legs. Try to get more height. Do all the variations that you know if you like, or any variation you like. Even try Chakrasana. You bring your hands towards your feet. If you're very flexible, you might be able to eventually bring your hands right onto your feet for a full wheel. Unbroken circle. Move according to your condition, remember. Offer up the best that you can without incurring pain or stress, anxiety, distress, I should say. And then start to make your way down gently. And release. Breathe in. Breathe out. Soften everything. Come back to seated position. Arms over the head. Stretch and then come to seated. So just keep your feet together in front. Right hand behind the back. Right against the seat. Left arm up. Reach up and take your left hand to the outside of the right shin. Inhale, push the lower back up and in. Exhale, turn to the right. A few other twists, you can do that. You can bend your knees if you like. This one's a nice one too. Keep your knees together, however, and just press your forearm against the outside of the right thigh. Try to twist your body. Try not to crush your abdomen with your thigh if you're doing this variation. Keep pulling the knee beyond the left edge of the body, or imagine you're trying to do so. Both sides of the seat firmly planted. And then switch sides. Left hand behind the center of the back. Not like this, not too far away from the body. Right against the body so that your back stays straight. Right arm up. And take your forearm against the outer left thigh. Turn towards the left if you're doing the legs straight. Sometimes one heel comes in front of the other. The right heel in this case would probably lead. Try to push the left foot forward to meet it. Try to turn. Feel the spiraling action up your spine. Chin over the back shoulder eventually. Push one more time into the outer thigh or the shin and the back, and then turn a little bit more. The next exhale. And then release. Now, going to come to seated position. Come into comfortable seated pose. If you want to do Padmasana, you can, or you can just bring your cross-legged position. So your left hand in Yana Mudra, second finger and thumb connected, and resting on the left knee. The right hand, Vishnu Mudra, second, third fingers fold down, turn the palm towards you, and this is what you use for the pranayama. Sitting up tall and straight, alternate nostril breathing, 3, 12, 6 counting. 3 on the inhale, 12 on the hold. Exhale through the other side, then back up. Inhale. Hold the breath, apply the throat to Naru lock, exhale through the original side. We call it the active side with the starting side. So to find the active side, you plug your right nostril with your right thumb, breathe through the left side, see, and then take your right ring finger and place it against the left nostril. Try to breathe through the right side. Whichever side feels more open is your active side. If it feels the same, just default to your left side as your active side. So I'll guide you through this. So sitting up tall, breathe in through both nostrils, exhale, release all
all the air out of the lungs. Then close off the less active side. Inhale through the active side, 2, 3, close both sides of the nose, hold the breath. Bring the chest up high, the chin against the chest. Bring attention to the third eye. Now contract the root muscles, pull them up towards the navel. 9, 10, 11, 12. Exhale through the less active side, release the locks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the less active side. 2, 3, close both sides of the nose, hold the breath. Again, contract the root muscles, contract the throat muscles, third eye attention. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Breathe out through the active side. 2, 3, release the tension in your root and your throat. 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale through the active side as fully as you can for 3 counts. Then hold the breath for 12. Keep your back straight. Just bring your chin down on your chest. 11, 12. Breathe out through the less active side. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the less active side. 2, 3. Hold the breath. Squeeze the root muscles tight. Really squeeze the chin to the chest. And the tongue can come to the upper palate behind your teeth. Exhale through the active side. Release the throat and the root muscles. Inhale through the active side. 2, 3. Hold the breath for 12. 12. Exhale through the less active side for 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the less active side for 3. Hold for 12. Exhale through the active side. Do 3 more cycles on your own. You start with your active side and you breathe out through your active side to end that cycle. Hold for 12. Apply the throat and the root lock on a breath for tension. Keep the attention for the space between your eyebrows the whole time if you can. Make your mind one-pointed. Keep the rhythm steady, the speed of the breath steady, uniform. Exhale through when you exhale through the active side next, that is, just terminate. And once you're done, take your time with that. Once you're done, lie on your back. Make your way down quietly. Ensure the body's comfort. Just allow the feet to just fall out to the sides. The arms just go limp beside your body. Hands be on the edges of the mat. Close the eyes, soften everything. Imagine now the best of the best is about to happen through the Adatitibasana. All the restrictions, the emotional restrictions as well, that prevent you from just being receptive to all of the incoming gifts, the practice. They come as a result of you putting your own efforts out there, your offerings. So now just remember that this is an active type of meditation. So remain alert during the instructions. Say to yourself for once, I will remain awake and alert during instructions. Believe in it. Now just relax the hands. Bring your attention to the hands and just feel how the fingers just drop limply, relaxing completely. The backs of the hands like dead weight, heavy like stones. The wrists completely loose. And then just start to bring your attention to the arms. Just feel all the muscles relaxing along the length of the arms from the wrists all the way to the shoulders. Feel them just soften completely, the muscles dissolving to nothingness, to just soft mass just hanging off the bones. Shoulders as well. Loose, no tension, no discomfort. Just as though they were just a pile of bones sitting there, holding the rest of the arm down. Now start to make your way down the back body. Just like ink coloring a water when you inject a pen into the water. It spreads all the way around to color the water in the same way. Imagine the heaviness descending down through the back. From the top, just starts to spread its way down into the shoulder blades, engulfing all those areas, the upper back. Then eventually keep on moving it down, very much like paint coating a wall slowly. Feel it just come into the lower back and release the lower back. Feel the lower back just soften and yield to the softness below that supports it. Into the hips, the hip joint, whatever muscles are there, relax them. The bones of the hip joint, very heavy like lead. And the seat just accumulating more, the heaviness that comes from the upper and lower back that came down the body. And just feeling it pool inside that seat as though it were a big basin. And just allow the seat to just stay there and be heavy and melt into the ground. And then we start to make our way down the legs. Bring your attention to the tops of the legs. Make as though you're injecting heaviness, same type of heaviness. Magic fluid, heavy fluid, into the legs and all the way down towards the ankles, bringing with them, of course, complete surrender of the legs, complete release of the muscles. Just the legs feel heavy there now, because they become weak And they're just no more than just extra weight hanging off the bones. The muscles just lay there immobilized. The feet at the end of the legs, at the ankle, completely flimsy. All the toes released and loose. The bottom of the foot, the heels soft. Front of the foot soft, no tension. The outer body, arms and limbs from the neck down, completely still. And now feel as though you're trying to shut down the inner body by just directing your attention inwards to these organs that sit there, and command to them to just stop what they're doing, to slow down, just barely run, so that they're just sustaining life in the body, no more than that. So everything is still in the lower body, very much like a corpse. The head as well. Now, the attention of your focus is also quiet, feeling heavy on the mat. So press this down into the ground. The face is completely soft, no signs of tension whatsoever, no clenched or grinding teeth, no strain around the eyes, no deep lines, stress lines etched into the forehead. Everything is just completely, exudes complete tranquility and calm. And the head, the brain inside the head, quiet as well, as a result of the body just not responding even to any of the signals that the brain sends. So the brain has nothing to do now but to go quiet. So allow it to. Remember, you're the seer, not the doer. Always stay in the mindset of just being the witness, watching the body, watching the mind activity and the emotions without any concern or judgment. Just stay as the emotion, as the unbothered witness, unfazed by what it observes, unjudging. Nothing except unconditional love on the mind, or felt towards anyone or anything. For in the end, we all pass through the same experiences in some way or other, depending on our conditions and our past experiences. And we find the knowledge of these experiences to deal with them when they come back, so that we don't land in the same place of suffering. We learn how to remove ourselves from those situations that cause pain and suffering. And what it boils down to is this: be loving and kind in all your actions, thoughts, and words. Act in a way that doesn't bring about pain or suffering to any being. So ingrain that in your mind now, in your heart, by repeating the following sentence 3 times. I will strive to act in a way that does not incur pain and suffering. That is a golden rule. If you can adhere to that rule, as well as all the ethical rules, yama and niyama, these are the very foundation of the practice. Without these, there is no yoga. So remain in adherence to these ethical rules, and first and foremost to compassion. And now make ready to carry that into the world, into the daily life, off the mat as well, every bit as much in the daily life as on your mat. So now come back to a seated position, moving ever so gently. Awaken the body, move in a way that doesn't bring about or doesn't take away from the tranquility that was created through the practice. Move gently, quietly. Come back to a seated position when you're ready. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be receptive to the divine grace within. Namaste. Thank you very much for coming. Have a wonderful day. Until next time, much love.